Hello, and welcome to episode 211 of Dark and Stormy Book Club. This week we wrap up our pre-Malice program with tributes to each of the nominees. Enjoy.
I'm Ann Dart.
I'm Tracy Stormy.
And I'm Kathy Knight.
And together we are
It Was a Dark and Stormy Book Club,
a podcast for mystery lovers.
Welcome.
If you enjoy our show, please consider contributing to the Dark and Stormy Patreon. By becoming a patron, you will help us create better and quality content. There are also benefits to becoming a patron, such as exclusive content and Dark and Stormy merchandise. Become a supporter at patreon.com/darkandstormybc. Check our website for the link. We appreciate any and all contributions. Thank you.
As you know, every year we try to honor those people who are nominated for an Agatha Award. This year is no different. We have not been able to read all the books that were nominated.
We're still working on it.
We're still working on it, but we are going to honor these people since Malice is right around the corner. So we wanted to make sure every author that was nominated got mentioned. Our first category is Best Contemporary Novel. Our first nominee is good friend of the show, Ellen Byron, who is nominated for Cajun Kiss of Death. It was put out by Crooked Lane Books. In Pelican, Louisiana, Valentine's Day has a way of warming the heart despite the February chill. But the air at Crozet Plantation B&B turns decidedly frigid when celebrity chef Phillippi Chanson checks in. And when the arrogant Philippe, in town to open his newest Cajun-themed restaurant, perishes in a fiery boat crash, Maggie Crozet's dear friend JJ lands in very cold water. Maggie had planned to devote her February to art lessons in New Orleans, a present from her sweetheart Beau. But now she has to focus on helping her friend and her mother cross a murder charge off the menu. Meanwhile, Maggie receives a series of anonymous gifts that begin as charming but grow increasingly disturbing. Does Maggie have an admirer or a stalker? And are these mysterious gifts somehow related to Philippe's murder? Ellen is one of our favorites. This is number 7 in her series. We look forward to each new one, especially the food and the ambiance and the fun in her books.
Next up is Louise Penny for The Madness of Crowds. It is Chief Inspector Armand Gamache, number 17. It was published in August of 2021 by Minotaur Books. It started innocently enough. While the residents of Quebec village of Three Pines takes advantage of the deep snow to ski and toboggan, to drink hot chocolate in the bistro and share a meal together, the chief inspector finds his holiday with his family interrupted by a simple request. He's asked to provide security for what promises to be a non-event. A visiting professor of statistics will be giving a lecture at the nearby university. While he is perplexed as to why the head of homicide for the Sûreté du Québec would be assigned this task, it sounded easy enough. That is, until Gamache starts looking into Professor Abigail Robinson and discovers an agenda so repulsive, he begs the university to cancel the lecture. When a murder is committed, it falls to Armand, his second in command, and their team to investigate the crime, as well as this extraordinarily popular delusion and the madness of crowds. We are so looking forward to meeting Louise Penny at Malice. She is right up there with one of my favorites. We will tell her how much we love all her books.
We will be fan stalkers. As usual, we're pretty well known for that. The next book in the category is Her Perfect Life by Hank Phillippi Ryan, another very good friend of the show. Her book is called Her Perfect Life. It is put out by Forge Books. Everyone knows Lily Atwood, and that may be her biggest problem. The beloved television reporter has it all: fame, fortune, Emmys, an adorable 7-year-old daughter, and the hashtag her loving fans created. Hashtag @PerfectLily. To keep it, all she has to do is protect one life-changing secret: her own.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Hank books always get you going.
I've been a fan of Hank Phillippi Ryan since her Jane Ryland series. I devour everything she writes. Her standalones are amazing.
I agree with you 100%. Her books are always a pleasure when I see them on the shelf and I know I'm going to have a good ride.
And if you're interested in Hank, please go back. We have interviewed her twice. She is a doll. We just love those interviews with her. Next up is Symphony Road by Gabriel Valjean. It is number 2 in his Shane Cleary series. Trouble comes in threes for Shane Cleary, a former police officer and now a PI. Arson, a missing person, and a cold case. 2 of his clients whom he shouldn't trust, he does, and the third, whom he should, he can't. Shane is up against a crooked cops, notorious slumlords, and a mafia boss who wants what he wants. And then there's a good guy who may or may not be what he seems. Ooh, another good one.
Yeah, Gabriel's books are always good too.
It came out in January of 2021 by Level Best Books.
The only other nominee in this category is Edwin Hill. We had,
Who is Edwin Hill?
I've never heard of him. We interviewed him in our first Agatha Nominee episode this year. So you can go back and check that one out.
Talk about being a friend of the show. He's on so much, he should be listed in the credits.
The Edwin Show.
But we love Edwin.
Yes, we do. And the next category is Best Historical Novel, which is one of our favorites. The first book in the series is called Clark and Division. It is by Naomi Hirahara. That was put out by Soho Crime, and it came out in August of 2021. Set in Chicago in 1944, this is the story of a young woman searching for the truth about her revered older sister's death, and brings to focus the struggles of one Japanese American family released from mass incarceration at Manzanar during World War II. This is an author I have not read before, but I'm looking forward to reading this book very, very much.
Does sound interesting.
Yeah, that whole World War II, the horrible treatment that people got just because they were Japanese American, doesn't sound very American. It was a sign of the times.
Next up is Sujata Massey's The Bombay Prince. It's number 3 in the Praveen Mystery Series. It came out June 1st, 2021 by Soho Crime. I am very excited to be the person to bring this to you because this is one of my favorite series. I actually got to read this one. November 1921, Edward VIII, Prince of Wales and future ruler of India, is arriving in Bombay to begin a 4-month tour. The Indian subcontinent is chafing under British rule, and Bombay solicitor Praveen Mistry isn't surprised when local unrest over the royal arrival spirals into riots. But she's horrified by the death of Franny Cuttymaster, an 18-year-old female Parsi student who falls from a second-floor gallery just as the prince's grand procession is passing by her college. Can Praveen help a suffering family when her own is in danger too? I highly recommend it.
Sujata is very, very talented at bringing out the feeling that you're right there in India back in the day.
I love the fact that she incorporates real events that happened back in the 20s and then builds a good mystery around it. And I learned so much, and the flavor of India, it's such a beautiful series.
Yes, it is.
Sujata, because we're going to find you.
That's right. Next book is called Death at Greenway. It's by Lori Rader-Day, another friend of the show. I read this book and I loved it. It's by HarperCollins. It came out in October of 2021. Bridie Kelly has come to Greenway House, the beloved holiday home of Agatha Christie, in disgrace. A terrible mistake at St. Prisca's Hospital in London has led to her dismissal as a nurse trainee, and her only chance for redemption is a position in the countryside caring for children evacuated to safety from the Blitz. When a body washes ashore near the estate, Bridie is horrified to realize this is not a victim of war, but a brutal killing. As the local villagers look among themselves, Bridie discovers they harbor dangerous secrets about what has led them to Greenway. With the mystery writer's home as their unsettling backdrop, two young women must unravel the truth before their safe haven becomes a place of death. This was a very good book.
Talk about being talented. Gabriel Valjean has another nomination, and that is for Best Historical. The Devil's Music, Company Files number 3. It came out November 9th, 2021 by Winter Goose Publishing. With victory comes revenge, and both attorney Roy Cohn and his supporter J. Edgar Hoover wish to settle accounts. In a race to protect his associates, Jack Marshall relocates them to off-Broadway. Walker, Vera, Leslie, and Sheldon swelter under more than stage lights in New York City. Before the summer is out, before the strange music subsides, there is a mob war and another unexpected addition in the company files. Ooh, I have not read this series. I'm going to have to give this one a try. I want to bend Gabriel's ear at Malice and hear more about this.
The only other person nominated in that category is Colleen Cambridge from Kensington Books, and she had Murder at Mallowan Hall, and we interviewed her about a month ago about her books. So it was episode 202, if you'd like to go back and listen to that one. We covered everyone in some way or another in the best first novel.
We think that's the most important category. We think that these are the people we want you to get to know. You probably know who the other people are.
Yes. And these are the people just coming up and they need a little extra push. The Turncoat's Widow by Mally Becker, Level Best Books.
A Dead Man's Eyes by Lori Duffy Foster, Level Best Books.
Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala, Berkeley Press.
Murder in the Master by Judy L. Murray, Level Best Books.
And Mango, Mambo, and Murder by Raquel V. Reyes, Crooked Lane Books. The next category is Best Nonfiction. The first book is Murder, Most